past makes you more and more powerless, you are indulging in it. If it makes you to decide to build your future again and again, it is vision. It is vision. Understand? All you need to do in your life to make what you want as reality, looking at the right past that gives you courage, hope to relive it, to recreate it, the real future. Here the word past I use should be understood not from the context of your past, but from the context of collective past. The authenticity of the disciple, ability of the disciple to face the truth, gave courage to the master. Yamadharma even wants Nachiketa, no, don't ask for that. Ask for anything else. Nachiketa says no. He even accuses Yamadharma of cheating him. No, I am not interested in anything else. Get me only that. I think that kind of a space which got created by the authenticity of the Nachiketa gave the courage to Yamadharma to reveal the truth as it is. Authenticity of Yamadharma, intensity of Yamadharma, and the sincerity of Nachiketa, the kind of the space they created for the delivery of the reality, delivery of enlightenment. Actually, whenever that kind of a space is created, the cosmos has to deliver enlightenment. You can't even verbalize it. Only by creating that kind of a space I can show, demonstrate it is possible. So I invoke that space created by Nachiketa and Yamadharma here. Let the enlightenment happen.
How should a disciple be authentic like Nachiketa?
What I feel is like how Nachiketa never gave up. He was so authentic. Even though Yama gave, he told, I'll give you all, like all gold, all so many horses. I'll give you whatever you ask for. You take it and go, but please don't me ask this question. But still Nachiketa told her, no, I want to know what is death and why all this old age and all. I want to know. Please tell me. Yama constantly, he'll tell, I'll give you that, I'll give you this. But still Nachiketa will just stand up without giving up and being authentic. So the same way disciple, when the disciple avoids giving up, at the time he can be authentic.
Adding a point, what I also feel is that when your seeking is pure, when you don't have any vested interest in your seeking, and when you go on seeking for the ultimate reality, automatically, whenever master says anything, like in the example of Nachiketa, first Yama tried to put so many different things. He showed so many different things. He wanted to show him different delusions that can happen. But still, Nachiketa was so clear. He was his seeking was so pure that he wanted to achieve that ultimate reality about death. He wanted to know about death. So he was continuously seeking for it more and more and more. But whereas so for him, basically the patience was so much, how much, whatever Yama might have told. I am very clear. I want to know what is death. I want to explore into it. I want to dive into it. So when his context was clear, and when he wanted to achieve that space of reality, he was there, and he listened, and he told, and he was clear with the context, and he moved forward. Because of that, he got that boon, and he got that whole reality about death. He came to know about it. So this is how I feel when our seeking is kept pure, without any vested interest, we can also be like Nachiketa.
Even Nachiketa, at the point of death, when even Yama was standing in front of him, instead of being like a coward or being getting scared of Yama or thinking, oh, I'm going to die, I have to leave everything. He was standing with that courage to just know what is death. He was just so he was in that seeking to know what is death. Nothing could stop him from knowing what is death. So he directly asked Yama what is death, and Yama he tried to test Nachiketa for his authenticity, and in the end he had to like how Swamiji told, Yama stood naked in front of Nachiketa. Yama's whole identity just collapsed that time. So he had to reveal the truths of death. Just because of Nachiketa's authenticity and seeking, he got the true Vidya. He got the true knowledge about death. So same way, if we are in that continuous seeking as devotees, when we are continuously seeking for life, life will continuously present us with knowledge.
This is one place, as Swamiji says, it's a Shiva's home. It's got, Swamiji has said that it has got 200 energy centers, 200 Garbha Mandirs, and that is not even the full counting. It's like minimum 200 energy centers. So this time when he did the IEA, he has even added this very powerful process of Shivoham to it. And Shivoham is a process basically where the participants don't have to do anything. We just have to be physically present there in that one hall where Swamiji will be sitting. He has literally packed everything into this one IEA. It's got Shivoham, it's got the best of Shivoham, it's got the best of inner awakening, and it's just like a spiritual blast. Energy Darshan is all about you and Swamiji in that one same space, and he is the mirror of your emotions at that moment. So if you are excited, he will look at you just with that same glitter in his eye, and at that moment, you know, everything will fade. Time will fade, and you will not know where you are. You will be in a different space altogether. It is just you and Swamiji. And he is a being for me. He is not just my guru. I see him as my father. I see him as my guide, my mother, my brother, my friends, as every single person in my life. Like, I feel that, you know, even if I had no one in my life and I just had Swamiji, I don't think I would need anything or anyone else. He is just the embodiment of every single person, every single emotion, every single relationship that you need in your life.